आज पूरा भारत राममय है। सियापति रामचंद्र की, सियापति रामचंद्र की, सियापति रामचंद्र की। राम मंदिर के लिए कई कई सदियों तक, कई कई पीढ़ियों ने अखंड, अविरत एक निष्ठ प्रयास किया। राम मंदिर के लिए चले आंदोलन में अर्पण भी था, तर्पण भी था, संघर्ष भी था, संकल्प भी था।
सोमनाथ से चली है, वो अयोध्या पहुंचे बिना रुकेगी नहीं।
जिनके त्याग, बलिदान और संघर्ष से आज ये स्वप्न साकार हो रहा है, जिनकी तपस्या राम मंदिर में नींव की तरह जुड़ी हुई है, मैं उन सब लोगों को 130 करोड़ देशवासियों की तरफ से सर झुका करके नमन करता हूं।
The inauguration of the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya on the 22nd of January would be the culmination of political and court battles that have lasted decades. The BJP officially joined the Ram Janmbhumi movement in the year 1989 and today is pulling out all the stops to make the consecration of Ram Lalla Idol a nationwide celebration. Over the course of the next 1 hour, we are going to take you back on that road and its many bylanes through which passed the Ram Mandir movement, where when VP Singh threw the dice of Mandal on the political chessboard, Kamandal was seen as the political necessity for the BJP as an answer to that, where the frenzy of religion and politics not only demolished the disputed structure in Ayodhya on the 6th of December 1992, but also demolished the wall between the politics of Congress and non-Congressism. And on that debris, a new kind of political movement was built, the flag bearers of which would be forever identified through the prism of secular and communal politics. But then, socialist leader Ram Manohar Lohia often said, there is nothing more political than religion, and religion is in itself politics. December 6, 1992. Neither law, nor administration, nor the constitution. Ayodhya was ruled by the passion of car servants. In cold numbers, about 2.5 lakhs. The heat of this agitated human procession singed through the streets of Ayodhya towards the Babri Masjid, the disputed structure. Dying hours of the afternoon sun seemed to be fueling a frenzied, uncontrolled crowd. Administration stood aside as a heady cocktail of politics and religion took over. And the pawns, some political, some blinded by faith, some admittedly guided by the gods, brought down the Babri Masjid, reducing a disputed structure to debris and with it blurring the lines forever between religion and politics in independent India.
कि राम की शक्ति ही इस देश के अंदर काम कर रही है, और वही आज जो राम जन्मभूमि के आंदोलन के समय दिखाई दे रही थी, जिसने कि राम भक्तों को 180 की संख्या में संसद में पहुंचाया, वही आज शक्ति नरेंद्र मोदी के भीतर हमको दिखाई दे रही।
This was a first. The sequence of events had stunned the country. Delhi remained silent and Lucknow folded its hands. BJP rode on the chariot of religion and introduced a new color to Indian politics, Bhagwa, saffron. Mandal had divided the country in forwards and backwards, and now Kamandal was dividing the country in the name of religion. But there was a need to understand that. In fact, the script of 6 December 1992 was written in the October of 1984, when the Vishwa Hindu Parishad formed the Ram Janmbhumi Mukti Yagya Samiti, formed for the temple in Ayodhya, the Ram temple. This was also a non-political movement. So when did it turn political? 8th October 1984, Ayodhya. From Lucknow to Ayodhya, the Vishwa Hindu Parishad and thousands of seers in saffron marched to Lucknow to Ayodhya for the Ram temple. These were sensitive times. The messaging was filtering down to the masses. December 2nd, 1985, a petition was filed in the district court of Faizabad to open the locks of the Babri Masjid. The RSS and the Vishwa Hindu Parishad believed that the Babri Masjid was built on the site of the Ram Janmbhumi. The gates of the structure were locked post the communal riots of 1949.
ताला बंद हो गया, किसी को मालूम नहीं था कि आखिर ताला ये क्यों बंद हुआ, किस कारण से बंद हुआ, क्या कारण था वहां ताला बंद करने का। जब भगवान राम की लगातार वहां पूजा अर्चना चलती चली आ रही है, कभी भी ढांचा बनने के बाद से और तब तक हिंदुओं ने कभी वहां पूजा अर्चना बंद नहीं करी, लगातार वहां संकीर्तन चल रहा है, तो आखिर ताला बंद करने का वहां कारण क्या था।
In February 1986, District and Sessions Judge Krishna Mohan Pandey in Faizabad District Court heard the petition and gave the decision to open the locks that had been in place for 37 years.
One afternoon he heard the matter, and within 20 minutes he came back with an order of so many pages in typed, which means it was all cooked up, it was all arranged.
The locks were broken, the gates were opened. It was believed the political explanation was then Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi trying to pacify the Hindus, rumored to be angry over the Shah Banu case. On June 11, 1989, the Bharatiya Janata Party in Palampur welcomed this step of the Vishwa Hindu Parishad and extended the party's support to the cause of the Ram Janmbhumi movement through a declaration.
We adopted a resolution on Ayodhya for the first time, concluding with the appeal, why not the government of India adopt the same attitude to Ayodhya which the first government of free India adopted towards Somnath. Pandit Nehru or Maulana Azad did not become communal on that account because they recreated Somnath.
Just before the 1989 general elections, the Rajiv Gandhi government gave permission to lay the foundation stone for the construction of Ram Temple at the disputed site on 9th November. The Vishwa Hindu Parishad considered this their big victory. But this also led to a cascading effect. The north of India was engulfed in flames of communal violence. According to one estimate, about 800 lives were lost to communal riots. BJP raised the Ram Mandir issue prominently in the 1989 general elections and won 85 seats. With these 85 seats, VP Singh's Janata Dal-led National Front government was formed with the support of the Bharatiya Janata Party. VP Singh came to power with the promise of implementing the recommendations of the Mandal Commission, and that promise etched a deeper caste divide. The RSS was demanding that the BJP publicly denounce the Mandal Commission report. While the party's upper caste leaders agreed in private, they could not say it publicly. The Vishwa Hindu Parishad was desperate to begin the construction of the Ram temple in Ayodhya and had already announced October 30th as the appointed date. The BJP, the Bharatiya Janata Party, also needed an answer to the Mandal movement. It was then that BJP leader Lal Krishna Advani came up with a perfect foil for the Mandal agitation, the Kamandal politics of Hindutva. He announced a Rath Yatra of 10,000 kilometers passing through 10 states from Somnath to Ayodhya between September 25th and October 30th. VP Singh wanted to stop the Rath Yatra but was advised differently. Stopping it would be detrimental to his government, he was told. It's also true that VP Singh had received intelligence that if the Rath Yatra was stopped, his government was on crutches and would fall. VP Singh felt if he maintained social harmony at that time, he'd go down as one of the greatest of Indian prime ministers. That is, on one hand, control the fire of Mandal, and on the other, not allow the Kamandal to catch fire. But history had something very different in store. 14th October 1990, Delhi. The capital of the country was witnessing a new kind of politics, the color of which was saffron. Advani's Rath rolled into Delhi through a groundswell of saffron flags. The Sangh Parivar realized Ayodhya was the cause that could unite a scattered Sangh as well as script the rise of the BJP. The reason why National Executive Meet was called on the 17th October while Advani was in Delhi.
I remember that if the Rath passed away, the tribals, women, children, old men, rushing to it and just trying to touch it. And if they are not able to touch it, then touching the road through which it passed, as if something sacred is there. They would throw coins, and we would keep on appealing from the loudspeaker, from the radio, that not a single coin is to be thrown. But that would not deter them.
This was also the time that many efforts were made to dissuade Advani in Delhi from continuing the Rath Yatra. N.T. Rama Rao and Lalu Prasad Yadav staged a dharna at Advani's house for hours, but Advani did not waver. VP Singh's talks continued with Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Bhairav Singh Shekhawat and Jaswant Singh. He urged BJP to find a solution through courts. Meanwhile, on October 18th, an adamant Advani reached Bihar by train. A sea of saffron received Advani at the Dhanbad railway station. It took 2 hours for him to reach his car just from the railway platform. But the question was about the current political chessboard, and that was laid. The first voice of social justice through Mandal came from Bihar, and this was now the place where Advani needed to galvanize support for the politics of Kamandal, Hindutva. And from Bihar in 12 days, Advani's Rath needed to enter Ayodhya, timed with the Kar Sevaks. These were tense times. Vishwa Hindu Parishad had announced that Kar Seva will be performed in Ayodhya on 30th October. Advani's chariot was also to reach Ayodhya on 30th of October itself. A culmination that could have been explosive. Advani started the second phase of his Rath Yatra from Dhanbad on 20th October. He was witnessing tremendous public support. The chants for Ram Mandir drove home the deeper point. Advani's Yatra had found people connect. It was a super success. In that sense, the Rath Yatra for the Ram Temple was the perfect political response to the Mandal agitation. Kamandal versus Mandal was now an emotive issue. The BJP and the Sangh understood that.
बहुत बड़ी संख्या ये लोग कहते हैं कि आप हिंदू वोट बैंक बना रहे हैं। मैंने कहा मैं हिंदू वोट बैंक नहीं बना रहा हूँ, मैं पेट्रियोटिक वोट बैंक बना रहा हूँ, मैं नेशनल।
On the other hand, back in Delhi, VP Singh was deep in talks with the Vishwa Hindu Parishad and Babri Masjid Action Committee, trying but failing to find a middle path. VP Singh understood that as the Rath was inching towards Ayodhya, the days of his government were numbered. Advani was on a roll from Dhanbad to Ranchi, Ranchi to Ramgarh, Ramgarh to Patna. Finally, on the 21st of October, Patna. The Bihar Chief Minister at the time was Lalu Yadav from Janata Dal. There was one question on everyone's mind, whether Lalu will stop Advani's Ram Rath. When the Yatra started in Bihar, journalists' first question to Lalu used to be, when will Advani be arrested? Word was Lalu had no interest in being the one to bell the cat or arrest Lal Krishna Advani. He understood the implications of stopping the Ram Rath. He was also happy to let Mulayam deal with it, who was more than willing to, when the Rath entered the state of Uttar Pradesh. But then something happened late at night in Samastipur, and the Prime Minister in Delhi played an important role in that. 23rd October 1990, Samastipur Circuit House, 3 a.m. L.K. Advani, asleep, was woken up by plainclothes policemen and arrested under the National Security Act by Lalu Prasad Yadav.
We were anticipating it. They arrested us at about 3 o'clock at night, took us by helicopter to a distant place and kept us there.
The arrest was stealth. No one knew. Even the Kar Sevaks or crowds of sages and saints accompanying them were clueless. Advani was arrested and taken to Masanzor guest house in Dumka on the Bihar-Bengal border. The next day, news of Advani's arrest broke, and with it came a political storm. BJP pulled the plug and withdrew support to the VP Singh government, toppling the government in the centre. Immediately, a BJP national executive took place. It was decided to withdraw support. A delegation of BJP led by Atal Bihari Vajpayee reached the Rashtrapati Bhavan to meet President Venkataraman, announcing withdrawal of support from the VP Singh government. 24th October 1990, VP Singh was now running a minority government. He reached Rashtrapati Bhavan to meet the President R. Venkataraman, conveying he will not resign but was ready for a floor test to prove majority. The President suggested 30th October for the floor test. VP Singh asked for more time, alleging 30th October was the D-Day for the Kar Sevaks to come to Ayodhya. Things could be very tense then. He wanted more time. Well, the President gave him more time. 7th November 1990 was the date decided for VP Singh government's floor test. But before 7th November 1990 would come 30th October. And that would be a watershed day in Indian history. Mulayam Singh Yadav, the then Janata Dal Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, was riding a secular perception wave, deeply critical of Advani's Rath Yatra and also allegedly not happy with Lalu stealing the spotlight by arresting Advani. And this laid the grounds for what happened next when the Karsevaks came angry with Advani's arrest. 30th October 1990, Ayodhya, called the D-Day of Karseva. The first clash between the police and Karsevaks took place on the Saryu River Bridge in the early morning. The police acted with restraint, pushing back Karsevaks. Along with the Karsevaks, the crowds also included those who had come to participate in the Panchkosi Parikrama at the time of Kartik Purnima. Soon, more Karsevaks gathered. Ayodhya resounded with chants of Ram Lalla Aayenge, Mandir Wahi Banayenge. हिंदू हिंदू भाई भाई बीच में वर्दी कहां से आई, बच्चा बच्चा राम का जन्मभूमि के काम का.
बच्चा बच्चा राम का, जन्मभूमि के काम का, बच्चा बच्चा राम का, जन्मभूमि के काम का.
The streets of Ayodhya leading to Babri Masjid were covered in saffron. Sadhu saints, along with the BJP cadre, Bajrang Dal, Vishwa Hindu Parishad workers. Leading these crowds were Vinay Katiyar, the then chief of Bajrang Dal, and Andhra BJP Vice President K. Narendra. Former Inspector General of Police Shrish Chandra Dikshit was also with Vinay Katiyar during this period.
नहीं पूरी तरह से बजरंग दल संगठन था, उसका मैं अध्यक्ष पहली बार बना और हमारे द्वारा और भी जो माननीय अशोक जी सिंघल, आचार्य गिरिराज किशोर जी, इन सब के देखरेख में काम चलता रहा और मैं समझता हूँ कि वो जो कार्य हुआ वो बड़ा अद्भुत था.
हमने कभी उस समय सोचा भी नहीं था कि कोई राजनीतिक दल इसमें आएगा. भाजपा की उस समय एज एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन क्या भूमिका थी, ये भी हमारे दिमाग में कभी नहीं रहा. मैं तो ऐसा मानता हूं कि जब ये आंदोलन जनता में उठने लगा तो राजनीतिक दल को तो जनता चाहिए, राजनीतिक दल को तो वोट चाहिए. तो जिसको लग रहा है कि जनता इसको उठा रही है, राजनीतिक दल तो सही हो या गलत, उसी को स्वीकार कर लेते हैं.
The then General Secretary of Vishwa Hindu Parishad Ashok Singhal also reached, but no one recognized him. A bearded and a mustached man was now clean-shaven in disguise.
मैं अनुभव करता था जब ये आंदोलन चल रहा था कि हजारों लाखों लोग मेरी सभाओं में आते थे. लगभग 250 सभाएं मेरी 3-4 वर्ष में हुई होंगी. जब से हम लोगों ने ये शिला पूजन का कार्यक्रम लिया था तब से लेकर के बड़ी बड़ी सभाएं होती थी. तो मुझे लगता था कि किसी व्यक्ति के कारण से ये आंदोलन नहीं है, इसके पीछे राम की शक्ति काम कर रही है.
The groundswell of Karsevaks was increasing. So was the anxiety of the administration. The next few moments would be etched in history with blood. Chaos prevailed, cops brought out the lathis. The Karsevaks became aggressive, insisting on marching towards the disputed site. Many people from rooftops started to pelt stones on the police force. The police first fired tear gas shells. This enraged the crowd further. The police started lathi charge. News also spread that VHP's Ashok Singhal was seriously injured in the clashes. This inflamed passions of the Karsevaks. Blood started to flow through the streets of Ram Nagari, Ayodhya. 30th October 1990, the D-Day for the Karseva fixed by the VHP wasn't a date just fixed by chance. Rather, this was a well-planned out move by the Vishwa Hindu Parishad. It was the same day every year the Panchkosi Parikrama was to be organized. Lakhs of devotees would come from across the country to Ayodhya. So VHP felt that much crowd would be the perfect backdrop for the Karseva on the 30th of October. This would put pressure, moral pressure, on the administration and the Chief Minister, Mulayam Singh. At around 11 a.m., a sadhu managed to gain control of an armed constabulary bus in which the police was holding detainees. The sadhu drove the bus through the barricades, clearing a way for others to follow. Soon, Karsevaks reached on top of the tomb of Babri Masjid. At 12 noon, the UP Chief Minister, Mulayam Singh Yadav, ordered the police to open fire at the Karsevaks. 5 Karsevaks were allegedly killed in this firing. Hundreds were injured. The Uttar Pradesh firing on the Karsevaks on 30th November 1990 lit a political, social and a religious fire across the country. UP was becoming a battleground, and VP Singh was silent in Delhi. Mulayam felt that BJP was on one side and VP Singh was on the other side and doing nothing. There is no difference between the two, Mulayam felt, because Karsevaks were openly entering UP through Delhi. So Mulayam stopped communicating with his own Prime Minister, refusing to even take his phone calls. The pyres of the Karsevaks were still burning from the 30th October firing incident that the VHP and enraged Karsevaks decided again to march to Ayodhya, Babri Masjid, to finish a job undone. Chants of Jai Shri Ram rang through Ayodhya again. November 1990, Ayodhya. With a shaved head, Sadhvi Uma Bharti had reached Ayodhya and was holding the front at the new ghat. She was accompanied by Gujarat BJP MP Haren Pathak. Vinay Katiyar was to lead the charge from the other side. When the police tried to arrest Uma Bharti, she lay down flat on the road. Lakhs of Karsevaks had gathered around Ayodhya. The administration, taking nothing to chance, had blocked all roads leading in. Ultimately, the Karsevaks strategized. Women and the elderly were to lead the morchas.
उन्होंने बुजुर्ग महिलाओं और पुरुषों को आंदोलनकारियों ने आगे कर दिया, और वो करते क्या थे कि वो जब बुजुर्ग लोग जो अर्धसैनिक बलों के जवान तैनात थे उनके पैर छूने लगते थे, जब वो पैर पकड़ते थे तो एक स्वाभाविक भारतीय संस्कार है, किसी बड़े से पैर नहीं छुआए जाते, तो पीछे हटते थे। जो ही वो जवान पीछे हटते थे तो उतना रास्ता उनका ऑटोमेटिकली कवर हो जाता था।
Now this was the strategy of the Karsevaks. Was it a ploy by the Vishwa Hindu Parishad or a ploy to create social pressure on Mulayam? There was indeed a strange atmosphere in Faizabad. The police, the PSC, the CRPF soldier were in a fix. The group of Karsevaks moved ahead rapidly. Lathis, tear gas shelling made absolutely no difference to them. Mulayam Singh was already upset by the incident of 30th October, and now, when the news reached him that the crowds of Karsevaks were once again going out of control, reaching the disputed structure of Babri Masjid, Mulayam Singh, without consulting his own PM, took the decision. 30th October was going to be repeated on the 2nd of November, where Mulayam Singh asked the police of Uttar Pradesh to open fire for the second time. From Hanuman Gadi to Digambar Akhada, mayhem reigned, blood splattered. In the melee, rumor broke that 15,000 Karsevaks were killed. The reality, as per government figures, was 15. But this rumor led to an unprecedented blowback by the Karsevaks. What Ayodhya witnessed that day and what Ayodhya Vasis saw, only they know. 30th October and the 2nd of November, dates etched in blood. Also the date where, in colloquial perception, Mulayam Singh became Maulana Mulayam. The VHP and the BJP made sure to push the anti-Hindu image of Mulayam. What happened in Ayodhya triggered communal clashes in the state. There was curfew in as many as 20 districts. 48 died in Bijnor alone. Mulayam Singh lost the 1991 election that followed, and the BJP came to power in UP with as many as 221 seats, and Kalyan Singh was the chief minister. And the day after taking oath, in a symbolic move, Kalyan Singh, who had become the darling of the Sangh Parivar for taking on Mulayam, took his entire cabinet to Ayodhya. But getting back to 7th November, the day of the floor test for VP Singh was nearing, but by then, too much water had flown down the Saryu River in Ayodhya. Political dynamics were changing. The Janata Dal would split. VP's own would turn against him. A new Saffron order was emerging. Many wrote of how the Ram Mandir movement had concluded with this. But they were mistaken, because in reality, the Ayodhya movement had just begun.